Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to Fearless Fempreneur's show. And this is the must-watch series for you to pick the minds of amazing women entrepreneurs, daring entrepreneurs, in fact. So, you are watching us live today in Singapore. And we want to welcome yet again another amazing fempreneur to teach us some skills that is relevant and valuable in the industry that you are in. Okay, so at the end of the day, we want to build profitable and purposeful businesses that can help you spur on the next generation. All right, so today's episode is brought to you by Blissful Studios, bringing your business to life. This live stream today is set up and managed by the amazing people at Blissful Studios. So if you need a live show just like mine, you can reach to them at blissfulstudios.sg. So over the past couple of months, we have had the pleasure of interviewing so many amazing and inspiring women entrepreneurs. And just like yourself, I was very, very inspired by them. So all these women that we have interviewed, they were showing to us and making it very obvious that it is more than possible for women to lead thriving and successful businesses. So that's exactly why we believe that business skills are a necessity, and it is indeed a necessary skill for everyone to go out there and make business knowledge a priority. It is, in fact, a survival skill. So when the going gets tough, we know for a fact during this whole COVID-19 situation, we know that the women have rise up to take charge in their community, and they have rise up to the occasion to make amends and also make improvements in their life. So we know that businesses and women entrepreneurs, they are the best of them all right? So without further ado, I would like to welcome our guest today to the show. Now, Eunice Yuen has been a veteran leader with over 20 years in the financial advisory industry in Singapore. She's the awardee of the Singapore Management Awards, top group director, and actively manages a $20 million agency. As a proud mother to two lovely daughters, seasoned property investor and agency coach to over 150 elite leaders and consultants, Eunice has consistently nurtured and groomed her consultants to clinch awards like the Top Rookie Financial Consultant of the Year, Top Financial Consultant of the Year, Top Rookie Manager, and Top Manager of the Year. Now, she is trained as an engineer in her previous life. Her leadership and steady acumen has indeed led her to reign as the Group Financial Services Director of the top group in her company from 2017. Her journey in entrepreneurship and business has also been featured on the Sunday Times and Channel News Asia Radio 938. So with that, welcome Eunice to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me, Huda.
It's such a pleasure to have you. So Eunice and I, we have met quite a lot of times. We were producing some videos for you, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it's a
yes.
pleasure to have you, really. You are so inspiring, and as we have heard just now, the introduction was really a lot. And you can see that she has a lot of experience. So if you are watching here right now, you want to leave some questions for Eunice later on, you can just drop them inside the comments right below, okay? And you can ask the questions. We will respond to the questions as soon as we have some necessary pauses, okay? All right, so you have heard all of this amazing profile from Eunice. So now it's time for us to ask her some of the tough questions, all right? Okay, Eunice, okay, I won't make it too tough for you.
Sure.
So we'll just start off with the first question, which is maybe you can share with us a little bit about your business and as well as the industry that you're in. Maybe you can start with that.
Right. I'm in the financial services business. So basically, my role as a group leader, I basically coach and manage a team of consultants as well as leaders. So for me, I've been 20 over years in the business. So I started when I was very young. So, but then again, I worked a couple of years in the corporate before I make a switch to join the financial services industry. So really climbed up the ladder from being a consultant all the way now leading an active group of over 150 of them.
So what was that like, when if you look back to when you first began 20 years ago, what was it like jumping ship in a way from your 9 to 5 all the way to do this?
For me, basically, then I was doing quite all right in my corporate job. I was actually a sales account manager, like a sales engineer role. So because I came from a very technical background, so my natural route after graduation was going to maybe an engineering firm to do something. But I wanted to try sales, so hence I ventured into that route. doing that for a couple of years, I start to realize that there were certain limitations to what I can do. And because in the engineering field, it's more or less like a male-dominated industry, so I felt that I wanted more, but I do not know how. But of course, then again, during my childhood years, I also have a very good friend, and this very good friend of mine, we grew up together, and because that time, she was also diagnosed with late stage of breast cancer at a very young age. I think in that time we were in our early 19 towards 20, early 20s.
Wow.
So she battled with cancer for about 4 years. Eventually she didn't make it. But what I saw during that incident was that her family that went through with her, it was a very tough moment because financial strains and emotional. So that kept me wondering, that impact that have on the family, that made me wondering that life is so fragile, but is there something I could actually do
Yeah.
to improve the situation? I didn't have much knowledge about financial planning, neither do I have any knowledge about financial literacy. So I start to have this curiosity to really understand, like, what is it like, to really know about finance, because that wasn't taught in school then. I was
Yeah.
an engineering student, so I kind of like, that impact and that curiosity got me to find out and understand more about this industry. Then I come to realize that, hey, actually this industry is very meaningful. So I went to approach my leader then, and I said that, hey, I want to find out more about this industry, and I took the leap to join. But of course, having said that, it was not an easy decision because I was considered in a very stable environment
Yeah.
where you have a good fixed pay, a good job, a good career prospect ahead. That to make a switch to become an entrepreneur of your own, where you really have to jump in to something unknown. But I guess that time, because I was young, and I thought that the opportunity cost wasn't that great, might as well I give myself a leap of faith to try to learn something new and to see how far I can go. But of course, at the end of the day, I also thought that if I couldn't make it, what's next? So the most I could gather the experience that I've got to go back to the workforce and then strive again. But what if I could make it?
Yeah.
And the rest is history. So here I am now.
That's great. Yeah. So you took the leap of faith, and I'm sure it wasn't easy making that decision. And just like you mentioned, you were young, right? So that leap of faith was more of like a sort of no-brainer, right? Like you have an opportunity for you to do that. You could explore in like the worst case scenario that was the case. I believe it's the same as well for women entrepreneurs. Like if you want to start a business, you are comfortable with your 9 to 5 paycheck. The only way for you to know whether there's potential in it is for you to take the leap of faith.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because you will not know what is ahead. But of course, you got to take calculated risk in a way to understand, like, what is the worst case that it can happen, and if not, what can you fall back on? So that was only my consideration then.
Calculated risk, that is very important. Yes, of course, please don't jump when you have zero savings, if nothing at all, and then you suddenly just leave your full-time job.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and also importantly is also to find the right mentor. I'm glad I did. So I actually found the mentor that was able to show me the way and guide me. So that's where it gives me more confidence when I actually make the switch to join.
So after, like you've been in this industry for 20 years, you have 150 elite leaders that you are training. So what did you do to train them to become elite leaders?
Okay. To me, I think we have to take note of these 3 A's. I've been practicing in what I do every day. The first A is awareness. Awareness is very important. Like, you need to know, to begin with an end in mind, to know what you want eventually. So to me, to have this team of champions that I have, I already start to envision it before I start to even have my first champion. So that, I think awareness is very important to really know what you want, to begin with the end in mind, the journey. The second A is about attraction. Because when you know what you want, you start to consciously or unconsciously behave and attract the group of people that you think that have like-minded vision and direction, like I do. Like, to me, I like to do whatever I do, I want to give my best. If not, I wouldn't do it at all. That kind, I think it's like a champion mindset. You know, the other way is another mindset that I have was like I wanted to gain new experience. I wanted to have a breakthrough. I wanted to not just be status quo. So I think to have that mindset in me, then I start to have that attraction to, you know, to go out there and see, hey, what kind of people resonates with me and what kind of people that can find me attractive, and likewise I could find that attractive. That's the second A. And of course the last A is association. I believe culture in every organization or every company is very important. Everybody wants to be associated with positivity, with a team that is able to give them energy, and you know, and you do not want to have a toxic environment where it drains your energy, because I think that in whatever we do, work is actually like a second home, right? Because after work we go back home to have a rest, and second home is whereby we spend most of our time outside of home in the workplace. So I think association is, I want to create that environment. I consciously create an environment where people would always feel positive and there must be value adding. So that in that way, you know, somehow or other with these 3 A's, it kind of built that championship team.
I love this. These 3 A's are what I also believe in. So you mentioned the first one is awareness, second one is attraction, and the final one is association. So attraction and association is something that I closely believe in as well, that if you want to lead a team, you have to lead a team that believes in your values, believes in your organizational goals, and also at the end objective. You don't want to just hire someone who's, you know, just in it for a job, and then after that they don't have a sense of pride being in the organization. Yeah, so I think that's really good.
Yeah, irregardless of whether, you know, it's in the financial services or in any business, I think these 3 A's is very applicable.
Yeah.
Because you start out a business, you must know what is your end goal. You cannot be starting out a business having no business plan, right? And then that's what kind of people or what kind of customers or what kind of services you want to attract.
Yeah.
And then make it an association that they want to be like a known brand. You know, they want to come back to you every now and then.
Lovely.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love this. It's so relatable, and I believe that all women entrepreneurs out there, if you're listening in right now, this is one of the things that you should look out for in the beginning. And when you're starting your business also, you need to think like this is the future that you want. Like you want to hire people, you want to hire good people. You don't just want to hire people for the sake of hiring people, right?
So selection is very important. Yeah, especially if you want to build a successful environment or a good working place, you know, selection is the criteria. Yeah, because when you select the right people, then you will be able to have a positive, you know, energy to be able to guide, because we all have the same direction. We are moving in the same direction. Could you imagine if you know, if you didn't select, you know, anybody just come on board, then you start to realize when you try to go direction A, somebody is pulling you back, and that's where it drains away the energy. So when you start things right, I think it will make things easier. But of course, having said that, it's not easy. You know, yeah. So that's where about keeping things simple, not too complicated, but just follow the steps. Yeah.
I love this. Sometimes we need the step-by-step guidance. We need this framework of sort, right?
Yes, framework of, yeah.
Yeah. So you being an engineer, that helps a lot.
Yeah, exactly. I also had my doubts moments where I was thinking before I even joined, it's like, could an engineer know how to do a business? Could an engineer even know about anything about finance or marketing? But when I reflect back, I think whatever we have studied, as long as you are able to reflect and put it into good use, actually a lot of things can be applicable to life. So I'm glad my engineering processes, the thinking process behind that helps me a lot in the way I run my business.
Lovely. That's amazing. Okay, so when you were doing all of this and you were leading or building your team, what was one of the most memorable moments that you have encountered?
I think leadership to me, or being, you know, a leader, it's very close to parenting. Yeah, I think it's like parenting, because it's like seeing your children grows up and, you know, achieving different milestones in their life, because I'm a mother myself, right? So I think if you ask me what is the most memorable moments that I have, I think it's about seeing the people that I brought into with me, that believe in the vision and the goal that I have, to see them grow personally as well as professionally, you know, and seeing them achieving different milestones of their life. I think that's the greatest memories that we have It's countless. I cannot even count until now like how many memories. But I think it's seeing them achieving like different milestones. I still remember I have people that came in. They were single. They were just came out from from school, just out from school, looking for a job to gain experience. To seeing them, achieving their awards, being recognized for what they do, and then seeing them settling down, having family, and seeing them having their children. So really like walking through that journey. So have so many memories that that has been with me for these past 20 years.
I love that concept of leadership is like parenting.
Yeah.
It's very, very relatable, I believe, because that when you are a leader, indeed they look up to you. You are you're the mentor. You are someone that they are looking up to. So if you
Yes.
don't behave like that role model that you should be, you're not sending in the good values that you
Yes.
want in your organization.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So I treat my people, my teammates, just like children. I mean, like my children in a way. I want them to do well. I want them for their best interests. But likewise, I want to also see them able to like do very well, so that it's more like succession planning. So that one day they can be like myself. Then probably I will take the back seat. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a break and see if we've got any questions coming in from the crowd. All right, so if there's no questions coming in from the crowd, let's post in another question. We
yeah,
ask you,
sure.
okay?
Okay.
All right. So if there was one thing that really you wish, an older version of yourself or someone out there who could tell you when you were first starting, what would that be?
Mm, Actually, I'm very blessed in my journey to have many good people that come along my way. But if you ask me if there is there any advice or any things that would I wish I would know earlier, I think more importantly, it's really to dare to take that step to try. Sometimes I wonder, right, when we were younger days, when I mean, I learned a lot from my children, that like you see kids, they have no boundaries. They can like run, they fall down, they just cry. The next minute they pick themselves up, they will just do again. But I also realized that as we age, we tend to have more fear. We tend to give ourselves more limitations or set more boundaries, and think that is very sad. Especially maybe we think that we have more to lose. So sometimes I feel that it's important to have like a childlike mentality whereby you just give it a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, do not be afraid to fall. Yeah, of course, as I mentioned, I don't believe in just failure, but I always believe that every failure is like a feedback. So if we ever fall, I mean, road to success is never smooth sailing, but if we ever fall, take it as a learning experience, pick ourselves up from where we fall, and then come back even stronger. So I guess to be where I am today is, of course, it's a journey of running, falling down, picking myself up, and then falling it down again, and
Yes.
picking myself up. So I think that it is because of that actually makes me learn a lot. And along the way, this advice that came along is just to affirm that I'm on the right track. Yeah. So if I ever think that if there's any better advice, is just go, just try. You never know what to expect. You may be surprised by the outcome, like
Yeah.
what I did. I could not imagine I could have come so far to where I am, but I just carry on with the journey. And when I look back, I was like, whoa, I was quite surprised that I could actually come so far and do to achieve such amazing results. Yeah.
That fear that you were talking about, the ones that's holding us back, I guess that is sort of like the hindrance behind why some businesses are more successful than others. It's a lot of the times that the women we see, successful in their businesses, they are often daring, and just like what you said, they are daring enough to take that
Just
risk.
like your team, right?
Yeah.
Daring,
Fearless.
Yes,
Yeah.
fearless. Yes.
Yeah, so just take that first step forward, and you wouldn't know what's going to happen, but that's the whole beauty of it.
Yes,
Yeah, whatever it is, whether it's good or not so good, you take it positively, right?
Surround yourself with positive people that they may be in the industry of what you're doing, or they may be outside of the industry. More importantly is that they're able to give you different perspective
Yeah.
of things, and then keep encouraging you to go forward. So I'm very blessed to have surrounded people like like yourself. So many it's countless that always tell me that just keep going, and that then for me it's like I just fearlessly run for my goal.
Lovely.
Yeah.
That is so important. I think when we are running our business, it's sometimes, especially now, I would say, you are thinking about what's the worst case scenario. It's really terrible, right? Like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
situation,
it is.
environment.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
you're thinking like, what's the worst case going to happen to me after this? Now, this is actually the best time for you to take one step forward and just do what is it that you are
So
always
I
thinking
learned
about.
this quote before. I thought that was quite applicable. Actually, fear, if you fear, right, FEAR, is actually false evidence appearing real. Actually, nothing is happening. But many a times, right, this fear is like make us think that it is real. But actually it's just in our head. Yeah. So if I know it's not easy. I mean, I also have my fears too. But I think more importantly is to tell ourselves what is the worst thing that can happen.
Yes.
Yeah, and then just give it and then just learn from every fall or every mistake that we've made. It will actually make us stronger.
Lovely. So all the champions that you have raised so far, elite leaders, as you've called them, what is one of the biggest achievement that you have seen in any one of them?
Biggest achievements I think more importantly is I see their market value goes up, which is very important for the effort that they do. And secondly is I think it's their professionalism. So to me that's very important because you need to be like in our industry, right, you cannot just serve the masses. You
Yeah.
cannot just be doing something that everyone else can do. You need to be different. You need to be something that you're able to value add. So I guess that's the champion mindset. With that, when they are able to value add, when they grow, that's where it becomes set them apart from the masses. I feel that's very important for them, for these champions, and that gives me great satisfaction to see them, growing in terms of market value. They may be young because I always believe age is just a number. It's the attitude. So it's not about at this age you must be able to, you can do this or do that.
Yeah.
In the past, we always think that, there's a certain number of age, then you can become a millionaire.
Yeah.
Or there's a certain number of age, then you can start your own business. But I look at today's context, there are like people as young as children, in the YouTubers, right?
Yeah.
Like they are like reviewing toys and making millions. And it kind of blew my mind like, yeah, anything can happen. Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't have to be, regardless of whether you're male, female, of course, if female, then it's a different set of challenge. But young or old, as long as you do passionately or you have something that you strongly believe in, just go out there to do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I completely agree with that. I was also equally amazed when I found out that there was like I think he's 6, right?
Yes, yes.
6 years old, and he made millions. His life is taken care of.
Yes, exactly. Just by reviewing toys
Yes.
and doing what he likes.
Exactly, he was
Yeah.
enjoying having fun. We had no qualms about it. And just like what you mentioned earlier, I think that is quite relatable. When we look at that kind of scenario, we see that as a child, your knowledge of fear is what you see around you. That's it, and you don't have a lot of fear. But as you grow older, you start to put in seeds of doubts inside your mind. Yeah, so that's the kind of things that's holding a lot of businesses back. It's really important that you've mentioned this, that age is not a number. So in other words, even my women entrepreneurs in the community, if you are like 50s or if you're in the 60s, you believe strongly that you want to start a business, start anyway, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, just start and then just learn from it, right? Yes.
Yeah, that's definitely a very, very good advice and very good tip. All right, so what's coming up for Eunice in 5 years or even, okay, maybe 5 years too far away, like
No,
5 months?
Yeah, I in fact have a 5 to 10 years plan for me. I think very importantly is that I want to build the next generation of leaders. I want to be able to systemize the things that I have built for the team so that is able to pass it on. I think in any business it's also the same, right? Because you will see the person that's running the show, they will keep running until they grow old and then they start to look for successor. They say, oops, there's no successor. So to me right now, I have a plan which is really to groom the next successor, to be the one that is able to be the next Eunice Yuen, to be the next person that is able to take on the next role. So that is my motivation that keeps me going forward.
Yeah, lovely. I'm looking forward to see what kind of growth that we can see in your business. So really exciting times ahead.
Thank you. Yes.
All right, so any questions coming? Oh, okay, Ben, thanks so much for that. Fearless, be the spirit. Okay, so let's see. Okay, how can our listeners and our viewers here get in touch with you if they want to learn more?
They can actually go to my Facebook link or my LinkedIn or my IG to actually check out the things that I've been doing, and of course can follow me, because I think to get to know me, I think it's really about the daily things that I do, what kind of values that I believe in, and if what I share resonate with you, you can actually connect with me from there.
Okay, great. So we'll leave some links in the description right after this so that you can click on it and get yourself connected with Eunice, all right? Okay, so any last words of wisdom for our audience?
Last words of wisdom. I think do not fear. Just go ahead to try it. I guess as any women out there, we all have this amazing strength that we are not aware of. I mean, could you imagine we have like we like to me after when I gave birth to my first kid, that I start to realize that actually anything is possible.
Oh my God.
Anything is possible. Yeah.
Okay, that is definitely a clear indication,
Yes, yes.
that woman can do anything.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so that wraps up today's episode. So thank you so much, Eunice, for agreeing to
You're
be
most
here.
welcome, Huda. I look forward and I hope what I shared did inspire someone out there.
Definitely. All right, so it's time of the year again where you are thinking about setting New Year's resolutions and the goals for your business. But I don't want you to worry because we've got you covered, my friend. You want to go over to fempreneurssecrets.com/goals to join our free 5-day goal setting challenge. It's really fun. You're going to go and nail down all the 5 goals that you want to create all throughout the year. Okay, this is going to be fun. So join, all right? So go over to fempreneurssecrets.com/goals. And remember to keep learning and keep believing in yourself because the world needs an inspiration just like you. Stay fearless!